Hi, I'm Rob Mackay, and I'm a senior lecturer in composition at Newcastle University. And I'm going to be talking to you about networking the flight of the Monarchs, which is a telematic audiovisual performance project. It's actually part of a larger project called Following the Flight of the Monarchs, which is an acoustic ecology project bringing together artists and scientists inspired by the incredible 3,000-mile migration of monarch butterflies between Canada and Mexico each year. I first encountered monarch butterflies in 2015 when I visited Mexico, and I was able to film and record the sound of millions of monarch butterfly wings. They make this wonderful papery sound. And I created an installation alongside other artists combining poetry, music, and soundscapes. We have 4 video screens here in this wooden hide-like structure, and that's almost representing windows that you're looking out of the hide into the forest. And you're also immersed by 4 loudspeakers. And the idea is to kind of get a sense of what it's actually like to be there, really engaging with the phenomenology of place. We've toured this installation around various places, including the Eden Project. It was there for 5 days. You can see it there at the top. And also Whitby Music Port and Shambhala Festival. I think that was my favorite presentation of it, outside in the English woodlands. You walk then inside the hide and then you're teleported to southern Mexico. These are all the people that are involved with that project. As a result of being involved with that and creating that installation, I became acutely aware of the environmental threats that the monarchs face. Their numbers have actually decreased by nearly 90% over the last 2 decades. And we think there are 3 main factors. One is industrial use of herbicides and pesticides, particularly in the Corn Belt in the US, destroying many things, including the milkweed, which is the only thing that the only plant that the monarch larvae eat. There's also deforestation, particularly an issue in Mexico in the mountain forest peaks where the monarchs migrate and roost in, and also climate change and freak storms can wipe out millions of monarch butterflies in a fell swoop. Over the last 10 years or so, my research has become increasingly engaged in the area of soundscape ecology, acoustic ecology, and I'm particularly inspired by the work of Bernie Krause, who's been working with ecologists, using a kind of a holistic approach to sound monitoring, listening to the entire ecosystem and the interrelationships between species to gain information around ecosystem health. So looking at biodiversity and ecosystem dynamics. So in 2018, I went out to Mexico again and installed a stream box in the Cerro Pelon UNESCO Monarch Butterfly Reserve, which was, the stream box itself was made by Soundcamp, a UK organization specializing in high quality live audio streams. And I was also connected with monarch butterfly specialist Pablo Jaramillo Lopez. And also we connected with Butterflies and their People Arborists scheme, which gives paid roles to people in the area to become conservationists within the forest. So I wanted to have a live stream in that environment, which could then be accessible to anyone in the world. So we could share that data with scientists, but we could equally use it in performances and installations and sort of artworks and raising awareness. And I'm also really interested from a scientific point of view of whether we could even gain some information around the monarch butterfly behavior by listening into their wings. So this is them flying around this sound field microphone, which is an ambisonic microphone. It records sort of in 360 3D. And this is a meadow that the monarchs, when it's warm enough, can fly down to and drink water and nectar. This is the sound of that reserve, or that meadow, when the monarch butterflies aren't there. And this is what it sounds like when the monarchs are swarming. So hopefully you can hear that beautiful, delicate, sort of paper-like crinkling of their wings. In terms of actually making the live stream accessible, we're using the Locus Sonus sound map. This is created in collaboration with the art school at Aix-en-Provence and the University of Marseille. And it's been going since 2006. It's an open source platform. Anyone can engage in it. All of the pins that you see there are real-time audio streams. You can even set up an audio stream with your mobile phone using their Locus Cast app. This is our elated faces when we did manage to get everything streaming off the side of the mountain. And there it is on the map. That's what it looks like on the side of the mountain with the solar panel. And that's the view. So we basically have a Raspberry Pi computer inside a weatherproof container and 2 microphones. These are all the bird species that ornithologists at the National Autonomous University in Mexico were able to identify from just a 2-minute recording from the stream. And you can listen to a second of that. So another sort of really important parallel part to the project was live performances or musical interactions within the reserves themselves. So I brought my flute along with me. I was joined by musician David Blink, who plays handpan and trumpet, and also the poet Rolando Rodriguez and video artist Jessica Rodriguez, who was filming everything. And we recorded these performances in the reserves where we're interacting with each other, but also non-human agents such as the butterflies and the birds in the area. So we're listening and responding and interacting between all of us. So this is David playing amongst the butterflies as they were drinking dew, morning dew from the grass. And this is Rolando in the reserve. I record everything with a single ambisonic microphone. And the idea there is to give the impression for the listener listening back as close as possible to actually being in the space rather than a really polished multi-track recording. I wanted to sound like you're actually there. Another performance I was very inspired by, a project or composition, was David Dunn's Nexus One, where we have 3 trombonists in the Grand Canyon, and you hear this incredible reverberance of the space. And so the space itself is another actor in all of this. And in this particular example, you can hear the reverberance of the mountain as David Blink plays trumpet and I play flute. So our approach is very much, I think, in line with Teressa Conors' creative practice sort of philosophy of ecological performativity, which is a non-anthropocentric model characterized as a dance of agency between living and non-living systems, human and non-human actors, and the complexity within which they are entangled. So this model really stems from the premise that artistic practice enables different perspectives of the world and becomes an apparatus for change, promoting what we consider a very long overdue shift in the way that we exist in the world. So within networking the flight of the Monarchs, we are layering multiple spatialities and temporalities together between human and non human entities. And the idea is to create a kind of telephenomenology where we're building a sense of connectedness, embodied knowing, and empathy by connecting various places around the world in real time. So with the stream boxes at the moment, we have one in Mexico and one in Canada. And the idea is to eventually have a network of stream boxes across the monarch migratory routes. We're also currently in the process of installing one in Virginia. So within the performance itself, we have live streamed soundscapes from Mexico and Canada in the monarch butterfly reserves. And alongside those, we have live music, poetry, and video from David Blink in California, playing trumpet and handpan. We have poetry from Rolando Rodriguez in Mexico, and Jessica Rodriguez is mixing together in real time video footage from the reserves. And then I'm also in Leeds playing my flute and mixing everything together. So all of the audio is routed to my laptop. So the musicians, the poetry, and the live soundscapes. And in addition, I'm incorporating pre-recorded performances from the reserves that I've already shown you. So the same places that we're listening to in real time, we're hearing what they sounded like a couple of years ago as well, and our musical performances in those spaces. So we're layering all of these different, as I say, spatialities and temporalities together, all through the medium of the internet, which is yet another sort of entity. And our latest iteration, we're also adding Pablo Jaramillo Lopez, and he is delivering some facts around the monarch butterflies and the threats that they face. So this is what the performance kind of looks like. We live stream the audio. Like I say, everything's routed through my laptop, and this is presented via Zoom. The video component is streamed using the software Estuary. And I'll just play a very short section of that so you get an idea. Scroll forward a little bit with some poetry.
En la marcha para ver cómo otras llegan.
Okay. Another aspect of the project, or the next step, is that as well as recording those 360 audios of recordings, we've been recording 360 video, so that rather than touring around a big heavy hide for the installation components, people can wear VR headsets and be transported again to those places. And finally, I have created a half-hour radio program about the project for BBC Radio 3's Between the Ears. You can Google it, Flight of the Monarch, BBC Radio 3. You should be able to get it. It's just, like I say, half an hour. And that sort of takes you on a kind of sonic roadmap across the migration routes. So hopefully we can make a difference with Team Monarch. Thank you very much for listening.